Yo, 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 what's good, my people? Hope everybody's doing well. It is what? Wednesday morning, and Jason Gooner say, yo, we're going to forward out and do a live show because I'm kind of been mistreating the people, I'm telling them I'm going to go forward for the post match for this game, that game. People, it does not work out for me. A lot of things going on right now, but I don't know. This morning, we're going to sit down, we have some time, so we're going to review the entire November window, people. We're going to talk about the two games, give the players some ratings over the entire window. Also, of course, we're going to rate the coach and just talk about all the things that would have happened throughout the window. Also, Concacaf acted very swiftly. Respect Concacaf. Dropped everything last night. So we're going to talk about what's to come in March. The next time we have an international FIFA window. We will be facing a team in a home and away leg. So we'll talk about that before the show is over. Also, of course, the Nations League finals. There were 4 winners in the quarterfinals. So we're going to talk about the matchups there. That will happen in March as well. And McClaren did an interview with press officer Simon Preston. We're going to listen to that, talk about it, break that down as well in this program today. All right, so that's pretty much how the show gonna go. The first thing we're gonna do is just go through all the players that were called and played in this window, talk about their performances, what to look forward to with them going back to their respective clubs. Just give them a rating for the window, and also maybe talk about, we'll do something like locks in the team, on the fence, and maybe we need to move on. We'll maybe do that for each and every player in the team for me right now. I think that's going to be something fun to do. So we're going to rate the players, and we're also going to say whether we're keeping, whether we're selling, or whether we're benching, right? So simple as. So big up namesake, Wagwan. Yeah, man, we're there. Put on my jersey today because, man, this is probably my favorite article of clothing that I own. That have to do with the Reggae Boyz. I think this shirt is amazing. I like it a lot. Float management, bless up yourself, bro. Yeah, man, respect. All right, let me make sure I'm gonna maximize my potential to be seen. Let me drop this all around on the platform them. Make sure I send this to this place. Yes, people. So while I do this, you don't know whether on YouTube. So smash the like button, share the content, because I know the whole on some people were active in the social media world. So yeah, man, let the stream grow some more legs and let it be seen by the masses. So while I'm doing that, people, do that for me. Like the video. Now, such say we're selling the entire team. So people are going upset with me that are doing it this way, because them always I say people take Jamaica Reggae Boyz side for one club team, But it's metaphorical, people. Obviously, we cannot sell players. Yeah. But not namesake, I feel like some people might sell the entire damn team. You're right about that. Yeah, man. People highly upset about these games, I think sometimes they let their pride get in the way of better judgment. Because, sometimes you have to put up your hand and say, oh, that team are better than we. No, I agree in certain instances and certain plays. The what you'd call it now, just the sheer effort and desire to, run back at full speed or things of that nature. Yeah, we can't go around that. We saw instances in more so the second game where, when you watch the replay of the goal, it's like, yo, but that guy, he saw him. Why he couldn't, I mean, yes, at the start of the play, they would have been at a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if they had really just boss it right as them see the situation starting, then they might have been able to get into the play, at least affect the player trying to finish the play or something. So, yeah, you could point to specific plays where people didn't show up in terms of just mentality. We need a transfer window. You saw the team of the week. The Concacaf of the window. Let's see. Didn't see it, you know. All right, Nations League. Where is it? Nations League news. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. May I look for it namesake? I try it on the screen. Oh, then that's all. Okay. Let's see. Let me send this first. Big baller, some big baller. I'm sending them something, you know, people. You never know who are taking the program them. God honest truth. People reach out to me after it done and I said, Jano, no most of them people I watch it. All right, that should be good. We send it around enough place. Oran, bless up yourself. Best Asman, bless you up. Big up. Nitro, big up yourself. None of the teams from the group stage advanced to the semi. Nope. Not our group. Blessings, yeah, Mexico. Mexico turn up last night, brother. Jason Goon all in chat. Big up, Vinny. What go on? Yeah, man, like the video. News. Confirm the matchups. All right, let me see this team, you know. So the team of the week, people. Team of the win. Oh, okay. So this is the highest rated players of the window. So we have 2 Jamaicans in it. Damari Gray and Isaac Hayden. Look at that. So Damari Gray on the back of his brace in the second leg. Or maybe this is probably just, I wonder if this is just down to the one game. Hayden get a 7.6 in the second game. So I guess this is just from that game. Yeah. Concacaf Nations League. Let me see. I go SoFi score too. Top players. No. Details. Jamaica. Matches. Concacaf Nations League Finals. Okay, so yeah, it break down by leg. So they met the team of the second leg. Nice. I thought it was like Concacaf did put out the team of the thing already. Team of the quarterfinals. Jamaica versus St. Vincent in March. That is it, Oran. Yep. Home and away tie. Big up D-Gray and Hayden. Yeah, man. Big them up, man. Ratings wise, they make it. All right, so we have the squad on the tactical pad. You know, say our thing that. So we're going to just go to the tactical pad so we can see the name them. And we'll go through the player them and we'll do it that way. All right. JFF have a Zoom meeting right now. What is this about? Reggae Girls Squad. Oh, okay. Good. Come here, I said, Jano, you know what? Okay, tomorrow Reggae Girls Squad announcement. All right. I will be there, people. Yes, man, I will be there. Talk to the coach. All right, so that's nice. Reggae Girls Squad announcement tomorrow, people. 10 o'clock. Virtual presence. Yeah, that is nice. Hide from your beating. So why me would I get beaten? How me forget beaten? What me do? Big up Chris. Oh, go on. Big up yourself, Rob, as well. Yeah, man, up. So we'll go through the player them now, people. So yeah, man, like the place are full up. We can get some nice discussion. This is obviously going to divide opinions because anytime you're rating players, people see the game differently. So from now, people may tell you what will go on. All right, and that's okay. Just keep it respectful. We don't really have a bag of wrench in the building. So no bother with the foolishness today, people. Let's just have a discussion about football and let's do it. Yeah, man, 10 a.m. instead of 10 p.m. I don't know what it is with 10. Maybe through my ball, would have give me the 10. That's why. All right, so first player, people. The first player. Hold on. Get rid of them brother for now. Let's sort out the screen. All right, so that's good. Okay. So we're gonna go through the entire squad. Obviously, some players didn't play, like the two goalkeepers that would have been in the squad, but we can still put them on so that we can do the keep bench or sell, One question: who at fault? Coach or the players? Getter, that is going to pretty much be one of the main questions of this, or not even questions. This discussion will lead to us being able to answer that question. Because if we rate all the players and all of them get 3 and 4, can we really cost the coach? Now, if we rate the players and we think about them and say, saying play decent and them get 7 and them, what I mean? Then we have to think about the tactics then. If the players can get rated like this, it must be something else why we're not getting the job done, right? So that's why we're going to have this exercise today. First player, Ring Russ. USA is at fault for being a better team. Blessings, Getter. But that's a damn good question and one that I think that most people should be looking at, So yeah, man, respect for that question. All right, let's go. So we turn a drop in from. Go away, youth. All right. So yes, that is it. All right, so Andre Blake, people. Andre Blake. So let's discuss the Andre Blake situation now as far as these 2 games. So the first game for me, Andre Blake, was solid. I think he made a big save at 1-0 against Anthony Robinson. I think after that point, he wasn't severely tested. I think the USA did pretty poorly with the other opportunities that they got in the game. The Brandon Vasquez one springs to mind. I'm trying to remember, there was one other that he had to make a save, but it wasn't anything too tough. Distribution-wise in the first game, people, what you think about his distribution in the first game in Jamaica? Because there was one thing that was a glaring difference in the second leg with Andre Blake. It kind of reminded me of maybe a few years ago, Andre Blake, in terms of his kicking. It was not very confident. I think his decisions on some of them were not correct. Going for maybe that intermediate pass when he had the short pass. So I think his decision making with his feet in the second game was a bit troubling. I think we saw glimpses of it in the first game as well, where maybe 1 or 2 extra touches were taken and he got away with it. But you could see where if a forward was really on it, maybe they nick it off of him and put it in the goal or something like that. So I remember one play in particular where he was getting pressed and he shaped like he was going to clear it and draw it back. And yes, it looked good and everything, but that's one of those where you say, okay, we don't want too many of those. And I think with McClaren trying to, and this goes to the question that was just asked, how much of this is down to the players, how much of it is down to the coach? Because most of us here know that Andre Blake, if we're, he's a lot of things as a keeper. He's a brilliant shot stopper. Reflex is incredible. for the most part, his positioning in those 1v1 shot stopping situations is pretty good, right? But one thing that you wouldn't say is that, he's an accomplished player with his feet. So even though this coach emphasizes a lot of times when he's talking about the modern game and wanting to play a certain style that he thinks, is what is more in line with what's going on around the world, you have to put some of it down to the coach and him, wanting to beat this into a player that maybe is incapable of that type of style, right? Now, to say he's incapable, I think is a bit of a stretch because we've seen games since he's played under McClaren where it's not such a worrying thing if he's on the ball. But I think what this showed you is when the level in the opponent steps up a level and you're asking the same player to do these things that he did okay against maybe other opposition that aren't as synchronized in their press and aren't as hungry in their press, he can get away with it. But when he plays the United States now, it's a different animal. Now, again, the first game, I thought he was better with his feet than in the second. But I think also that game was a bit different just the whole way it was. I don't think both teams got used to the pitch conditions, honestly. I think that was a big part of why that game had a lot of lulls in it in actually action. If you really watch back that game, there were long stretches where, just things just weren't coming off for either team in terms of the passing and the connection. So, the first game I thought he did okay, right? I would say probably a 6.5 in the first game for me, for Blake, I don't know if you guys agree with that. Second game, I would probably have to go a lot lower than that. I'd probably say about a 5.5, maybe even a 5. I thought for the first goal, thought his angle was poor. I thought his angle was very poor in terms of his approach to the ball. It's easy for me to say because I'm sitting on my chair watching the game, but I am not the goalkeeper of the national team, so I would expect on a play like that, if Pulisic is going to get that ball, somehow we're going to hit each other. It looked like he was just too concerned with the contact that was going kind of inevitable if you're going to stop that play. I think Pulisic was the braver of the two. As a matter of fact, I don't believe he even looked at Blake until he contacted the ball. So he was fixated on the ball, making sure he sets his body to finish. Blake, on the other hand, was trying to peek at Pulisic, the ball, kind of wondering, should I go for it? All of that indecision caused that play to happen for me. Now, that's the end of the play, and I know other things happen leading up. But, he could have done better there for me. Second goal, can't fault him, deflection. Third goal, though, again, due to, the nature in the game, how we were being pressed, how USA was on top of us, he has a simple pass to Low, who has split wide, down by the corner flag, decides to play the intermediate pass to Gray. It's cut out by Robinson. Low is now out of position by the corner flag. Pepe stands alone at the top of the box. So, sometimes you see a goal happen. You need to make sure that you're looking at the cause as well. And, that decision not to just play Low in the corner flag, who more than likely, if he doesn't have a pass, would have just cleared up the field, then we can recover, get our shape. Those are the little things that against a US team, they punish you. We may have seen these type of plays in Nicaragua, in Honduras, but those teams are not as deadly, not as swift to, exploit a mistake. And that was the difference in the game, the games from the last window to this one for me. Because some of the plays that we were doing in this game against the USA, we were doing them against the other teams. We just weren't punished for it. They didn't finish their chance. Blake saved it or something, we blocked the shot. But the US, they really exploited our mistakes in the second leg. So we have to give them their credit. And then the fourth goal, nothing. I mean, Weah just with a brilliant finish, to be honest. I don't think most keepers are saving that one by Weah. So for me, in the window, I would have to say probably a 6 for Blake. And if you know Andre Blake for Jamaica, that's a pretty low window for him, you know. I was almost to the 5.5, but seeing as how I don't think he was so bad in Jamaica in terms of at least what we usually get from Andre Blake with the saves, I would say a 6. You know what I'm saying? Instead of searching to blame, why not search to improve? That is true. We can keep talking. We need better players. You can't mix a couple good players with poor players. When you look at Suriname bench, they have players that could start in Jamaica team. Yeah. First game was okay for Blake. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Yeah, so 6 kind of high, you know. Blake, I forgot to get a 5.5 for the window. Because that US the second leg really dry him down. It's poor window for Blake. So what you guys think? Give Blake a rating for the window, you know, people. So we're talking about all the game them, you know. Both games, I should say. Yeah, man, like up the video, people. Do you people think you can talk USL players and JPL players to compete with players playing at the highest level? It won't work. So Chris Smith is telling you guys every day. He tells you this every day, people. None of our offensive players on the bench can make Suriname team, not even one. How the team set up in the second game was a disaster waiting to happen versus a high-quality USA team. Yes, I agree. I think the coach is going off of names. Like once you play in England or USA, you are okay to play. That's my opinion. All right, Geta. Thank you, sir. Blake was poor this window. He needs to try and do better with his feet. I'm telling, if he didn't improve, if he don't improve, we in trouble. Yeah, when we play these better teams, they're gonna find him out with that part of his game, I think. Use a different comparison. Suriname team not good, fam. I knew that was coming. Suriname picked up 3-0. People are saying they're not good, you know. Canada is a good team though. We did beat them last year, but I mean we had a miraculous game in that leg too. Even though the first leg we had chances to, you know, enough chance. Barely. Too many defenders for me in this window. Yeah, I remember when I was picking the squad, I was saying, boy, eight defenders would be good. But they went with the 9 again. You're not watching the players. I am the number 6 and 10 sitting on Suriname bench, and they can start in Jamaica team. They look better than most of our players in club football. Yeah, he's talking about Messi Jan and Emmanuel Farai. They are good players still. Very good. To be fair, we've been doing this like for our World Cup cycles now with all English-based players. Maybe it's time we start to do something different. So Malik is saying maybe it's time to play the English-based players. I disagree with that still, but Malik, you're entitled to your opinions, you know? Yeah, 6 is fair. Yeah, I knocked it down to a 5.5. I knocked it down to a 5.5 because the way I look at it, I gave him a 6.5 for the first game, and I gave him like a 4.5, 5 to the second game. So could have been 6 or I'm gonna lean more to the 5.5. Big up to the YouTubers, them. You guys give us the chance to voice our frustration up. Yeah, there's a place where people want to talk about these things clearly. I mean, look, what 40 out of you? It's like it's 10:30 in the morning. I mean, yeah, people out there want to see it, and then after this, people who never see it live, they will watch it back. Numbers important. Bless up Joseph Brown, Wagwan. So get to agree with me, 5.5. Nitro said a 6. All right, 5.5. He's not playing any ball right now, though. Blake could be back better. Yes, that could be said about a lot of our players, to be honest. Funny enough, the two brothers they met the team of the week on the ratings for the second leg. Them not playing a ball right now, neither to that. So it's a weird one. The man them who create the first goal for Jamaica in the second leg. Neither one of them really playing football for them club right now. Big up Sherman. One done. Clarin done. Chris Smith above Earth. Big up Bessas. Jesus Christ, one game and he's figure out. No, it's not the one game, but Rob, you have to be honest, bro. In the other games, there were plays like that where he never make the right pass, it get cut out, but we don't get punished. Like they don't score on us. We don't concede a goal, right? But you can't eliminate that the play happened. It's just more glaring now that we concede on a play like that, you know. But it was happening before. Malik, Maggie, Cephas, King, Lowe, Greg Lee, Tavon Gray, Dixon, Anglin, can't make Suriname. Jason Gooner, no, I'm not lying. All right, let me go through those names. So I would agree that Maggie wouldn't make the team. I think Cephas is arguable because I see them have some fast man before. Maybe not like Cephas all the way, but maybe they would like Cephas because I see them play one whole game of long ball in the first leg. They receive, they would love to have Cephas for run down some of them long ball. So Cephas maybe, you know, because Cephas a play Christmas. Cephas they in one league in Turkey, first division, them relegate, but that's still a high playing league. So he could probably make Suriname. Richard King not making it right now. Not over those guys they have in defense. Damian Lowe, probably not with the central defense, them have a lot, and them all playing recognized leagues. Even though Lowe playing MLS and now Saudi, so it's not like him not playing recognized leagues, but Lowe iffy, maybe. I feel like Greg Lee would have them have a lot of left backs though. Haps. Kenneth Paul really play left back sometime too. Greg Lee, maybe. Tavon Gray, I don't think he's making it. Dixon, I don't think he's making it right now. And Anglin not making the midfield right now. So there's a few of them on there that would make it, Chris, I think. But not many. If McClaren was still a club manager, there's no he'll be mixing inferior standard players in his 11. Just the best. So I think he's doing it because it's not a club ball game thing. The Suriname crap again, tell them to go for the Gold Cup. Malik, we have used 29% UK-based players versus local born, but it's the UK players' fault. Nitro, that's really the number? 29%? Damn. How did you find that stat? Are you make a database under that? 29%. Do you remember when we played Canada in the World Cup qualifiers with a local born team? We only had Ravel and Greg. It was an embarrassment, but these people have short-term memory. Yeah, that game was tough, man. What was that 4-love? I think. Yeah, man, they must say a big celebration for Canada that day. Substandard players will always drag down others in the team, select the best. Yeah, that is true. Just look, they don't give English players chance. Not saying we should play the English-based players, but I'm saying maybe we should have a more balanced team. Also, the coach need to do some work locally as well. Don't see the point having a coach that don't do the work locally. Yeah, well, I'm going to play his interview, so we'll hear what he had to say about the future. Same one to the local camp, so we'll listen to him I say and talk about it. From the Cuba game, I was worried. Cephas speedboat, no steering. Can't make Suriname's team. Stop Cephas is nowhere near Suriname wingers. But Chris, Missy John, right? Remember, say the man them start a fullback as a winger in the last game, you know. So besides Missy John and Becca, me no say Girano Kirk, that's another one. So them have 3 winger ahead of him. If they want a 4th winger, I don't know, them probably have other winger too. Him better than I think me no see the brother name Joseph Zone for a long time. He must be too old now. But them probably going to recruit some more ballers still. Some of it look like he want to go play for Holland though. But I'm not sure. I forgot to ask Sean. We need better players in certain positions. It's as simple as that, Guna. Recruitment is needed more. All who are called for use local players have family in JPL and a push agenda. Simple. What do you mean, Jason King not making it? The same King Jamaican need to build a team around. So wait, to have to build a team around King now? Damn. King did well still in his appearance, but I don't know if it's time to build a team around him already. Where's that Chris? Where's that Chris? Make no sense. Cephas can't make Suriname team. I don't know. I mean, he's playing, he plays at a recognized level. So I don't think it's so far-fetched to say if he was Surinamese, he get a look in the team. That's not far-fetched, Chris. Come on. Ignore Chris Smith. Make a reason the ratings. All right, cool. But now ignore Chris Smith because him have good points too. But I do want to move on with the ratings though. Okay, 29% before. Of course, Hop's better than Greg Lee, but you need a squad. You say squad, you never say 11. That different. So may I reason it too literal. You mean starting 11, all right? The coach is at fault for not preparing his team and not adapting to USA tactics. We do have quality players, but the coach is not playing them. Jason, I told you that King is better than Lowe. You did tell me that, Stephen Light. That is true. That is true. But is it true? Because King is better at certain things, but is he overall better? That's another question, right? So, so Blake, keep, bench, or sell? Or start, bench, or sell? Sorry. Start, bench, or sell for Blake, people. Drop it in the comment section. Rob Smith and Chris Smith are like two sides of the same coin. One is heavily in international players and Rob more domestic. I, however, tend to lean towards Chris Smith's arguments as he goes facts. Okay. But Rob know the facts then about Reggae Boyz history. A couple times I'll correct me and me consider myself somebody where know a lot of things about these things, If we are going to reason local and English born, let me know. I will reason with you next time. That's not going to be the whole reasoning, man. Come on. You guys can coexist. All right, so float, drop a start. So we're gonna see. Start, bench, or sell. And it's metaphorical, people. We're not going to literally sell no player or anything like that. Come on. It's just for the sake of having a discussion. Nobody gonna get up in them feelings, please. Davis, wait. All right, we're gonna say start, bench, drop. since we're not actually sell the player them. So L Meeks drop a next start. Float says start. And feel 15 minutes before the game. And then protest got stuck in Suriname and they couldn't beat us. Yeah, that team though, Rob, is different from the one we're playing now. It's a different team still. Rob Smith says start with the armband. Man had the extra credit. I never asked for no captain, but I'll let you know. Joseph Brown says start. All right. Nice. So I start, Blake. I mean, to be expected. All right. So we have the other two in the camp. Davis, right? Oh, I'm going for this. Shaquan Davis and Jamali, right? So, how you guys think about the keepers? Rob said we are a different team now too. Fair enough. I would say both teams have improved. Honestly, I know we don't feel like we're improving because we get beat up by USA, but I still feel like we're improving. Blake has enough credit in the past. Agreed. As a player made 2 passes, they should be in a team. How can someone saying that King is better than Lowe? Very sad. Flavor of the month, I want to see Adai in March. He is good with his feet, can fit McClaren style. Okay. Well, Nitro, I don't know if I would say he's better than Blake with his feet, yes. But I don't think he's like that good with his feet either, to be honest. He has improved from one time. I think he can definitely go long better than Blake, but I think the short passing still might not be, But it's better than Blake though. So it would be an upgrade on that. All right, so Jamali Wait, you guys okay with him keeping a bench role? No need to drop him out of the squad. Yeah, he's not great with his feet. I don't think so either, Rob. He's improved, but I'd say he's better than Blake with his feet, I think. But yeah, I wouldn't say that's a strength of his though. So let me know on Davis and Wait. Or we just not care enough? You know what I'm saying? We wanna say. All right, so Wade can stay. So Wade stay as a bench player. All right. All right. So Blake, Blake was a start. Wade, obviously, him not get no grade, can never play. And we're saying he's gonna be a bench. I agree with that. Shaquan Davis, it seems like we're going with the third keeper just being a local player. So would you want to have Davis, staying on the bench? Obviously, we have a starter, so he wouldn't be starting. So the two options for Davis is bench or drop. I see people saying a die. I still don't think that Corey Adai is sorted as far as his documents. That's what I was told the last time that I made my dream 20. Well, I shouldn't say that because if Duke was here, I'm gonna whine for that. But what I would choose if I had the power to choose the team, I put him in my 23, right? And I was contacted and told that right now it's not really feasible for him to be in the team because he does not have the required documents. So that is the story with that, people. So all you people that talk to these players, you need to hey, Rob Smith, you see that fiscally smart thing? When we get to a certain player in the squad, we're gonna see how fiscally smart them really is right now. Them not really business about that. Them are do them thing right now. At least when it comes down to the Reggae Boys and the Reggae Girls, it looks like King play 45 minutes with a fat mob rating of 5.9. And people saying team for build around him. Jaja. Jamaica fans don't know nothing about international football. They must think we still play Caribbean Cup. Yeah, I mean, look, I've said it a lot of times, based on who the person is that is giving you the information. We tend to highlight just the things we want to highlight that will make our argument better. We don't look at the game in its totality. There's a reason why Anfat Mabi was a 5.9, because yes, while he made an incredible pass and he had some very good touches on the flank, in small space, that gave us all some happiness to say, okay, this young guy is confident, on the defensive side of things, he didn't really do much to affect the game. He didn't really make a tackle of note. The one time I remember him trying to make a tackle, he committed a foul. So there were things that he did that you could still see the rawness in his game. I thought sometimes when we were getting attacked, the positionings he was taking up, the positions, he was taking up weren't quite in line with the rest of the players in the defense. So, he looked like he was a bit further back or forward sometimes when others were other places. So just little things like that. And, to some who don't really watch the game as analytically or closely as I do, they would say, oh, that's nitpicking. But I will nitpick all 23 players. That's the difference with me. The problem is some of you guys only nitpick some of the players and some of the players and don't nitpick, and vice versa. That's what we need to get out of. And then some of you don't watch the game the way I would watch it. That's why you come to the program to listen to how I would explain it, because I am the one doing that. You know what I'm saying? So there's different levels of fans, right? Some are just fans and just have their opinion on what to state it. Others are watching the game with a little bit more critical intent, I would bring in a die for Davis. Okay, I read that. Davis is the only JPL player. I would be happy to keep him on the squad. But Richard King is JPL as well, El Meeks. Honduras get them teeth kick out. That is true. I mean, I wouldn't buy a ticket for a third keeper. Yeah, no, I understand. But is he the third keeper? Wouldn't he be the second keeper, or no? Wait, is the second still. I'm very happy you rewatched the game and come to your senses, Gooner, because you was drunk of emotions there. Yeah, man, I had to watch the game again, man. Enough Jamaica fans are delusional. The Maggie experiment will end as soon as passports reach. Oh, Elmeek saying no Richard King. Okay. Got you. Do we have keepers good with their feet? Amal Knight, decent with his feet, but I wouldn't say great. Out of all the keepers that we have used, Kanaya Boyce Clark would be the best with his feet, to be honest. And I don't even think it's close. Jamali Waite ain't bad with his feet, to be honest. Davis is not the best JPL keeper, though. Oh, yes. I was talking to King Talk. Brother, when you watch a game and when you watch two games and you don't see one pass as nice as that pass that him play, then yeah, you can become a prisoner at the moment. As I said, I'm a human being too. So emotions in the moment are going to come out. And on a live stream, it is a slightly different version of what I bring on a show like this. Because obviously I'm, more than likely enjoying, even though I enjoy that sometimes when I do these, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a different setting. Like now it's much more about breaking down things, All right. So me personally, people, Shaquan Davis, I would actually drop him. Yeah, I would drop him. I think we should always be bringing in Boyce Clark. He, to me, of all the pool that I've seen, he's the one with the highest ceiling. So I would bring in Boyce Clark as long as Adai doesn't have the paperwork sorted. If Adai gets the paperwork sorted, then I think we're having a big conversation where, okay, we might need to figure out who is the three out of those four between Adai, Blake, Waite, and Kanaya Boyce Clark. So yeah, that would be my thing there. Davis is not the best. Yeah, that's another thing. He's not the best JPL keeper. That's so true. I mean, the guy who has been playing for him over there is looking like he might be as good, if not better than him too, at Mount Pleasant. So I forget his name right now, but they have another keeper who's starting. Davis is not the best JPL keeper, though. I agree. We should start the bench players and local players against St. Vincent in the Gold Cup playoffs. I don't know, man. I want to see our best team just try to win some 6-love and 5-love and get some confidence, brother. Like have a chance to actually go out and just attack a team and just try to score some goals with the best possible team. Just give them that feeling to play like that, to play in a game like that. Give them some confidence, score some goals. Nothing personal against King, but for all the trials he has had, him still there, JPL. Yeah, it's true. Bless up JG, bless up Jerome. All right, so that's the keeper pool, people. Let's go to the rest of the squad now. So let's first start with center backs. So let's start with Damian Lowe. So Damian Lowe, first game, played decent, I thought, in the first game. I think he was a little bit better than I maybe had given him credit for live on the stream. My biggest issue, and I've said it before, he obviously plays the game with a lot of energy. He plays the game with a lot of passion. But for me, sometimes the energy and the passion can be misdirected on the pitch, and it makes it difficult for him to function in a team format. So, when you're expecting him to be somewhere on the field, he's actually somewhere else because of his overall hunger and desire to win the football. Now, the same thing that we praise him for, we have to be able to understand that it at times does mess up the team aspect. Because in the perfect world, when Damian Lowe does things like run out of his position to make a challenge, we'd have adequate cover and they'll realize and recognize. But sometimes that doesn't happen. And so, a hole that would have been a certain amount of yards big becomes double the size of that because one of the cogs in the machine has gone out of place. So I think when I say things like that, people get upset because they're saying, but if the other man them not tackling, who going to do it? And But you have to sometimes trust the people around you, delegate sometimes. Sometimes I see him like run past people who could have made a challenge to make a challenge. Not because the other person couldn't have done it, but just because he's like, I'm going to do it because I'm going to do it, And what makes him an asset, you don't want to take out of his game, because a passive Damian Lowe probably wouldn't be a good footballer. His aggression is a part of what makes him the player that he is. So it's a balance that you have to find. You try to I think it's a part of the reason why lately we have had a bit more success stopping opponents when we have a back five, because the potential to have coverage in zones if people run out of position is higher when you have more bodies around there, right? And I think that's why it's been helpful to have that extra person in the defensive line for those situations when he happens to run out. I remember a play in Honduras, I think it was. It was like the first chance we conceded. It was a header that was whipped in ball, free header in the box. And Damian Lowe had followed the attacker out of his zone. The attacker played it wide to a player. Damian Lowe chases the ball to try to block the cross, leaving one central defender and a right back in the box, really, with about, I think they had one player in the box and two runners. So we were outnumbered. And, it's just little things like that. And again, when that happens for against Honduras, maybe they don't capitalize. Happens against the USA, we concede chances, we concede big chances, we concede goals. So all in all, though, I thought Damian Lowe did decent over the two games. I thought he was one of the more imposing players in the games. I'm sure if you ask like Pulisic and all their attacking players that would have had challenges with him, they would tell you, yeah, man, Damian Lowe, we know he was on the pitch. He's there, right? So I think, to be fair, if I'm breaking down the two games, I thought in the first game he deserved about a 7, right? A 7 to a 7.5 probably. And in the second game, I would say Damian Lowe probably got a little bit lower, of course. I think he lasted about 75 minutes or so, 70 something minutes. So I thought he tried in that second game. His stats in terms of when he came in contact with the football, duel wise and all that, was very high. His passing accuracy was good. His long passes were good. And that's something that I thought people need to recognize in these two games, that I have to give him a little bit more credit for. In both of the last two games, actually, he has had a really high passing accuracy with the long balls or long passes for them. Why me again? These two games, I would say that was something that, people probably didn't recognize. 8 for 14 in one and 6 for 10 in the other. So, over the two games, that's what, 14 out of 24. That's not bad. Over two legs. He didn't lose. I think he lost one ground duel over the two games. Didn't lose an aerial duel. So defensively, in challenges, very good. 83% passing first game, 85 second game. So, improving there as well. I think, again, if Damian Lowe can just trust some of his teammates around him a little bit more, I think, for me, in this window, he gets a solid 7. Just being honest. 6.5 potentially, but I'm going to give him the 7 because, as I said, in the duels that he went into, he was very successful. Positionally, that's what's holding him back from getting 8s, 9s. Just need to trust your teammates a little bit more, D'Lo. I'm gonna rate the players first, and then I'll go back to the start bench. All right, so that's Damian Lowe's rating for me over the two legs. Let me see if anybody else have a rating. He only played in the back five twice, though. Yeah, it's only 2 games this window. That's what I'm talking. Both games he played in it for time. I know he changed the formation twice. Maybe that's the reason he hasn't made it big as a CB in club football. It could be, could be because, as a defender, just defending, he's pretty solid. I mean, he's not the easiest person to get past when you're just going one-on-one on him. Well, yeah, but he has improved in that as well, because against certain opposition, he used to have problems. But yeah, I think he's gotten better in that too. One of the things that frustrates me with Low is his propensity to pull shirts or arms when he's beaten by players. Big risk when he plays deep. Yeah, I think Concacaf saves him sometimes because he does play pretty aggressive. But I mean, that's how all the defenders in Concacaf play when you really breathe. Especially the Honduras, them and all them side, the Mexico, all of them. Yeah, that was a horrible play. Yeah, that was tough. So his game was better than you thought the other night. Yes, it was. It was. When I watched back the game, again, the only, Rob, is one issue that I see. He's gotten so much better on the ball. Him still kind of, to me, take a little 1 or 2 extra touch every now and again. But I think at least when he does the extra touches, what I've seen lately, it's like a means to an end. So you'll take the extra touch to get a better angle to play the pass. It's not just taking an extra touch to just boot it. So that's the difference that I see. But I still just feel like positionally, man, just, it's like if I could put a anchor on him and then just, like me, just have something in my head to say, all right, no. Because sometimes he just does the no and it's not needed. And it just makes the team out of shape sometimes. Agree, people calling for players to be dropped, so this would be the easiest team to give them a look in, so they can stop calling for players. Okay, so he's agreeing with what he said about playing the team against St. Vincent, right? King should be Jamaica captain. Watching all the YouTubers, Gooner, JD, and the youth gunners are fair and transparent, in my opinion. Okay. Says me, JD, and gunners fair in our opinion. Them. Okay. That looks like a good window, Guna. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. If you get a 7 in the damn window, it's not bad. We need to keep calling for players to bed them into the squad. Better players, that is. No quota fillers. Okay. I agree with that. 7.5 says Rob. All right. So Rob alone a vote. So him get 7.5. So let's move on. Because we're not when we get all the center backs that were called this window on the field, then so energy drop it down to a 5. Okay. D-Gray and Hayden made team of the week. Well, technically not the team of the week, but I'll show you what they made. The team of the week for SoFi score rating purposes. So yes, team of the week somewhere. They weren't selected by Concacaf for this window or anything, but they where is it? Concacaf Nations League. Okay. The Nations League Finals. All right, see what they made here. So I can show them. Me nah bench him. Where start Blake? Nobody no bench him. See it ya? So the quarterfinal, second leg, best rated team, highest ratings. D-Gray and Hayden getting a team. Vega forward and make a difference. Shuffleberg with a brace. Not even a USA defender and make it. Not Jamaica defender and make it. Not one Costa Rican in a team. Mexico full up a team. 2 Canada, 2 Jamaica, 1 Panama. That is what they was talking about. Yeah. Like up the video, people. Like up the video. We're almost up to 50 live viewers right now. So make sure everybody we should be at least at 50. Because I know people forward and leave because them show you long, I know people can't stay for the entire time. They will forward block and watch the next time if they can. But yeah, man, let's check the likes. 34 likes. Come on, people. Do better than that, people. Get it to the 50 likes quick and fast. That shouldn't be too hard, people. Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's what it was, Float. All right, let me go back to tactical screen so we can go and look at the players again. So low for me gets a 7. I only saw a few votes. I say a 7 and a, what else will it say? 7.5. All right, so I think I did actually get rid of the player out of the team to backside, So let me go back to this. Add player 3, Goalgate, center back. All right, so Mason Holgate, him start the first game, obviously didn't play the second game. For the first game, I think he was just forcing it too much in possession. He must be pinging some wicked passes in training because he has the confidence to just try to whip the ball. Every time he gets it, he wants to play a deadly pass. So yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear like how he pings them in training because he has the confidence. He keeps trying them like over and over and over and over. In the first game, I thought again, when I'm looking at his defensive stats, just his positioning, interceptions, things of that nature. One issue I have with him, he's not the most imposing player on the back line, right? It's kind of very finesse in his approach, which is kind of strange because it's almost like to make up for his finesse style, he thinks that he has to go into challenges like almost recklessly. For me, he could have gotten a red card for the yellow he got in the first game, and then eventually, pull down Vasquez. And in real time, I was kind of saying, well, based on that foul, that could have been a good foul. They want to keep it at 1-0. When I watched the replay of that play, Amari Bell is there. The coverage is there. I mean, yes, it will be Amari Bell versus Vasquez, but let's live with that. Don't take matters into your own hands. There was enough coverage, and furthermore, Vasquez didn't really have much support. So you have to live with what that. If you let him go, you can run and cover. Bell can take over. So, I was downplaying the red card in the moment, and I think watching it back and watching the replay, seeing several different angles of it, slowing it down, he didn't really need to panic so much and pull him down, make it so obvious. And he had no complaints. He walked right off the pitch, so he knew it was a bookable offense. He had that one really, really bad giveaway at the top of the box that gave up a big chance. Vasquez again, luckily, looked like he didn't want to finish it. Shot right at Blake, very team effort. But yeah, I just feel like it's not good enough. It's just not good enough from Holgate in terms of in possession. I think positionally, he's actually one of the better players. If I'm being totally honest, how he kind of reads the game and the positions he takes up when we're being attacked. He kind of has this knack of knowing when the through pass is going to be played. So he's kind of setting up, it's almost like he encourages them not to try the through pass because he looks so ready to go chase it. And I think like just, how he shifts around and when the ball's on one side, where he's at on the field, I think he's pretty good at that type of stuff. And I think it's a part of the reason why, for the most part, in that first leg, for most of that game, they didn't really have big chances in the second half, especially, and after maybe the first 15 minutes of the first, mainly down to, I thought they kept a very good shape for the most part. But, he just ruined his performance with the 2 yellow cards. Also, I lacked a little bit of conviction to finish the chance that Cephas gave him in front of the goal. So, there were just a lot of things, when you compare, him and Lowe went long both 14 times. Lowe converted 8 of them, him 4. Low had like 80-something% accuracy in the first leg to Holgate 72, which is dragged down by him constantly wanting to go with the long play. But yeah, part of it is down to people not showing for the ball in the first leg. I get that. But I don't know, man. He just needs to do better, clean it up. Because sometimes when he's playing the long pass, it's actually on and he's just not executing it. So, yeah. For me, I can't give him more than a 5.5 for his performance. I think it could have been some probably giving him, 4.5 and 3.5 and 2 and all them something there. I think a 5.5 is warranted because I do think that defensively, positioning wise, he did have some aspects of the game that I didn't mind. I think we're in decent defensive shape when he's involved in the back line from what I've seen. The second leg, the last time when we played Honduras, and this game as well. Now, his underball performances leave a lot to be desired. We can't go around that fact. But I'm telling you, as a defender, organizationally, I think he has some things that I don't mind. All right. But again, his affinity for cards is something that we spoke about before he played for us. And, the first game that we play, I'd say, just a little bit of a level up of an opponent from what he has seen so far in Concacaf. He was found wanting in a couple of situations that made it unavoidable for him to get some yellow cards. So yeah, I would give him a 5.5. I'm sure some might be lower in the chat, but yeah, I would give. Low could have hit in a red card in Jamaica for the off the ball challenge on Pulisic. Yeah, I think he showed his experience in the game there because it was just on the borderline where you couldn't really say it was like, it looked like it was clumsy, yes, and everything, but he didn't do enough damage in terms of like him never step on him or like knee him in his head or he roughed him up a bit, but he did it just sneakily enough and it wasn't blatant enough to say, okay, red card, but him shouldn't really try them thing there so much. Check. That was frustrating for me. He's just not a confident player. Okay. Holgate may not have impressed as we would have liked. However, to bin him would be premature. I think Pinnock, yeah, I agree. He can improve. It's people underestimate the heaviness of the Jamaica jersey, in terms of just pressure and they're not stupid. They hear how people think and talk, and they know that maybe people will be wondering about commitment and blase skip. So they know these things. They want to do good performances for the people. I'm sure. Changed his opinion after his rewatch about Low. He was telling him he would LOL. Yeah, no, I had to rewatch it and I've wrote down my scores already so that nobody in Yasa can blow or say nothing to me. 5.5 for Holgate, yeah, I agree. Low 6. Low Holgate and Bernard are the same type of player. Wild. Can't pair them together. All right. Speaking of, so we know Holgate got the red card. So in the second half, actually no, because he played mostly as a center back in the 5-back system. So let's go with Amari Bell. So Amari Bell, people, I thought Amari Bell for me this window was okay. I mean, pretty much gave me the performances that we come to see from Amari Bell. Like, he's gonna be like 6.5 to 7, pretty consistently. Don't really have that nightmare performance in him per se, or at least I don't remember one. Might not be able to hit the heights of a 9-10, but consistency is something that we can get from him for sure. Of course, the first leg with us conceding only the one goal would have been a better performance. I think in the first leg, though, in the second half especially, I just think he sometimes has a bit too much of a reluctance to just try to get down the wing. You know, a lot of times he's shaped like he's gonna do it, and he just turn the ball and kind of recycle it. I think a part of it too is he knows that you know, is he can't afford to be too high up the pitch in transition, because he's somebody that will really rely on those counter breaks of the other team, with his speed and just ability to read the game and the play. But you know, in moments in that second half when, you know, for a little bit of the time, we looked like we were going to cause some danger, especially down that left side with Cephas. You know, he was just reluctant to try. I mean, Cephas would cut inside and leave space for him. He would receive, and he just wouldn't try to dip his shoulder and go down that flank. So, you know, it could be instructions. I don't know that the coach, you know, maybe told him, like, listen, I don't want you to have a crossing action where you're down by the byline and then we're so exposed. So, you know, if you're gonna whip one in, maybe whip it in from deeper, so we still have that coverage. Because he was very reluctant to get down that flank. Now when he plays left centre back, I think he's a lot more comfortable personally. You know, he's okay as a left back in a back four. I don't think he's bad, but I feel like if he's gonna play that position, I think when he does it best is if he just kind of remains on that back line, maybe forming a three, and the right back can push up. So, you know, I think that left center back area is really his sweet spot. And I think, you know, not only in performance this window, but also maybe realizing that some of our players might actually function better in a back five or back three system. You know, I would say Amari Bell for me is one where you get a much better performance out of him if he's playing in a back five, whether it's as the left wing back or the left center back for me. I just think he functions a little bit better in that system. You know, and I think that a lot of the players might function better in that system too. But again, we have to take all of this with a grain of salt. We didn't have, I think, the what everybody would say is the fulcrum of the back line, Ethan Pinnock. So, you know, it looks a lot different when he's around. So perhaps with him there, you know, Bell might be even more sturdy in a back four as the left back, you know. So we'll have to wait and see when we have all the pieces together at once. But for me, Amari Bell, I think in the first game, I'd give him about a 7. Thought he was solid. Um, you know, did what he was supposed to do. I thought he had a more defensive role in that game, so that's what he did. In the second half, when the subs were made, you know, he did have license to get a bit higher, but I do think of the back four, he was the one tasked. Of the two fullbacks in the back four, he was the one tasked with sitting a bit deeper, so he didn't really overlap that much and kind of just left that wing for Cephas to do his thing. Second game, you know, like many others on the pitch, just never really got close enough to the players on the US. You know, didn't really do the best either on the football. You know, his duels were okay. You know, his passing actually wasn't so bad in the second game. I thought it was a bit lower when I had checked it, but I just wanted to double check it. Yeah, so 81%, not bad at all. Key pass, 3 for 5 long passes. Yeah. So he had a decent possession game in the first game. I just think, you know, conceding 4 goals and on the back line, it's hard to get a really high score. So we have to consider that. So for me, over the 2 games, I'm gonna say that Amari Bell for me gets a 6.5. Amari Bell gets a 6.5 for me over the 2 games. You know, decent. I don't think he was poor. Don't think he was just average. I think he was decent. So a 6.5 for me. A little bit under what I would have given Damian Lowe on the window. I think for me, he's a player that, you know, once fit, I'm calling him. I'm calling him. So 6.5 for Bell for me. I think you have to remember too, he's doing this, you know, just coming back. So, you know we can get a better version of him as well. And he still, to me, was holding his own and doing more than that, just playing decent. Yeah, he's told to sit. I agree. That's why I say I don't know the actual setup, but yeah. Nitro said we need 2 of Mitchell, Henry, and Wilson Esbrand. Yeah, Nitro, I don't know. Once the leagues get started back up, we're back giving you the updates of players, and we're really going to ramp up the search and the kind of, you know, I'm gonna start to literally reach out to these players, bro, like personally, and just say, listen, Well, just so you know, I'm so and so. I've been tracking you on your progress and blah blah blah. Because I honestly feel like it's not so far-fetched to believe that these platforms raise awareness of even to the players themselves. Because sometimes they don't even realize that, it's just reaching out, or, they don't know. They don't know. Some of these players don't know. So, yeah, it's not a bad thing to just start having the discussion about players, Bell, like many, is not as fit. Yep. So, I don't know where Chris Smith gone. Him gone. Gone from the people them start say, oh, Jaja. To me, Bell should not be starting games we are looking to win. He should forward on to shore up a victory. Okay, fair enough. So you would, we soon do the start bench and keep, or start bench and drop. Bell, like many, is not as much fit as we'd like to be, should be. Agreed. So El Meek says 6 for Bell. Jason, bless my branch. I'd hope this coach pick his best team, reunite the team for March game. I don't want to hear about no Manning Cup players or the full team with local. I only pick the best team. Yeah, the best team. The best team, though, is, the best team is down to who you're talking to. Because I don't think everybody would agree on the best. I think that's a part of the issue, No matter who the coach picks, somebody will be upset. All right. So Deshaun Bernard, he would have been another center back that got games in this window. Of course, to most, well, not most, but to some people's surprise, he was not selected to start the first game over Mason Holgate. When you look at pecking order, at least, under the previous coach, obviously Holgate wouldn't have been there, so we don't know. Maybe if Halgrimson had access to Holgate, as well as Bernard, he might have played him over Bernard as well. I don't know. But I guess because we have seen Bernard a few more times in the setup, we were kind of surprised that he went the route he went with. So Deshaun Bernard didn't play the first game at all, but did play the second. Had an own goal, unfortunately, for him. Ball was actually going wide, and even, Blake had it covered to that direction as well. But he played the 90 minutes. He had 3 clearances, 2 tackles, 1 own goal, right? 2 for 4 on duels. And I'm reading his stats because I want people to hear everything, right, about this particular player. Because I think, I just want you guys to hear all of this. 2 for 4 ground duels, 1 of 2 aerial duels, right? He lost possession 8 times out of 61 times touching it. He had an 88% passing accuracy, 44 out of 50. He had 1 key pass. He was 2 for 6 on the long passes, and he was 0 for 1 on his attempted dribbles. So, Deshaun Bernard, I won't tell you what SoFi score gave him, right? I'm just going to rate him. So for me, Deshaun Bernard in this game, I think, honestly, one of the things that I noticed with Deshaun, you see if Damian Lowe, because I don't agree with people that say Deshaun Bernard wild, I don't think he's wild at all, actually. Here's how I analyze it after watching back the game again. If Damian Lowe could give Deshaun Bernard a little bit of what he has in terms of that willingness to maybe go win a ball, right? Not to the point that Damian uses it, where he overdoes it. And if Deshaun could give Damian some of the more, choosing when to go and when to just kind of, let me just stay behind the player, keep the play in front of me. I can't win this particular one, so let me not cause a foul, right? That to me is the main difference between the two, because I don't know where people came with this Deshaun Bernard is wild thing. The man literally barely go into challenges. Like, he literally just tries to block most of the time, and sometimes, like, even on the play that he got conceded on, I think sometimes he's a bit reactionary as a defender, in terms of, like, if the opponent is kind of dribbling towards him, he'll more stand his ground than even, like, start to close. I think that gets him into trouble sometimes, blocking shots. If you looked at like even the Tim Weah shot when he was dribbling infield from the wing and hit the post early in the game. You know, Deshaun Bernard is standing in an area where if he had just made a couple of steps, he could have maybe even blocked that shot. But he kind of just was waiting and waiting and waiting. And that's why I say if Lowe could give him a little bit of what he does and Bernard give Lowe, it is like they would be both better, you know. But I don't know why people say this man is wild. The man needs to be a little more wild, because I thought he could go into some more challenges faster than kind of jockeying. You know, he's overdoing the jockeying. He want to back up until him reach into Blake 6-yard box. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only knock for me. I think on the ball, he's the best on the ball player we have. I think he's better on the ball than Pinnock in passing the football. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's more accurate passing the ball than Pinnock as well. But you know, and I think that's a part of the thing with Jamaica's team right now. Too many of our players, they have a weakness that is glaring. You know, like this man need to step up more. This man need to relax. This man need to be more sure on the ball. You know, so everybody have something that's not quite there, whether it's fitness levels or an attribute or something. So yeah. You know, recruitment will be key. I think we can improve certain players in certain areas because everybody have something about them that they need to work on. But for me, I don't think him deserve the same as Holgate. You know, I think he was better than Holgate in his game. Holgate get a 5.5. I'm gonna give Bernard a 6. You know, honestly, you know, I think SoFi score gave him a 5.8. But SoFi score gave him a 5.9. Yeah, I'm giving him a 6. Yeah, I'm giving him a 6. Yeah, invite them on the platform would be a good look as well. Just get them out there, you know. That is true. Depend the works and a tune in. Swamptivity, get you through a day. Bell is a boss player. Wasn't at his best because he just recovered from being injured. That is true. Disha 6, good player, falls asleep sometime. Yeah, awareness a little bit. Yeah, agree. No way Hoge should have started. Nope. Why should Lowe give Burn? Yo. Duke, you can't help yourself, bro. What is wrong with you? He wild in a sense that if you go around him too many times, you're going to put a tough foul on him. Yeah, but I mean, he's not the initiator of the wildness most of the time. I don't think he's wild. That's just not a good take for me. Like, yes, he might try a challenge that an next man wouldn't try, but I don't think that make him wild because, all right, put it this way. He goes into challenges enough times where he's not wild for me to say he's not wild. Bernard was the next man up. He got slighted in the first game. I think that played a part in his poor performance. Interesting. They say was kind of down, like him don't understand the pecking order thing. Happy to see King get some playing time. Hope he keeps it up. I need to see him a few more time before I come in, before I cement him in the team. Okay. People saying Bernard wild. That's news to me. No, it's a thing, bro. Them say Bernard wild too. I don't know. Yeah, he's not wild to me at all. He's kind of measured. Like, I think you know what happened? The man came on in a game one time and make a rotted tackle on a brother. And from that, the man them say, "Oh, see it there, man, wild to let." I'm like, damn, it's one tackle. All right, so Richard King, he would have been the 5th center back in the pool. Well, actually, the 5th, because I put Bell as a center back. Really, he was a left back. So, so which other center back I never put in there? Low, Holgate, Bell, Bernard. They know all of them that. Oh, Lati is playing midfield. All right, so we'll leave him as a midfielder. All right, so technically Bell really was a left back in this squad. So that's King. So you look at it this way, I really 4 defender them take. All right, so King, I guess he played long enough to get a rating, right? He played in the one game. So Richard King played a half. He played 45 minutes. So we'll rate his 45 minutes against the US People were saying that at times he was playing midfield. I'm not sure when that actually happened. Maybe he just stepped up in a certain phase of play and kind of stayed there for a while. It looked to me like he was playing left centre back, and Amari Bell was playing left wing back. But Amari Bell was kind of inverting from his left wing back position. So to fill that space, Amari was vacating, King would push up. So it kind of looked like he was playing left back. I heard everybody talking about at one point, Greg Lee. Well, not everybody. I heard on I think it was Sports Explosion. I was saying at one point Greg Lee was playing right back and Richard King left back, which really wasn't the case. Greg Lee was playing right wing back, right? And Richard King was playing left centre back. But obviously in the phases of play, it's going to maybe look like that one is playing right and one is playing left back in a back four, but that's not really what was happening. But anyway, Richard, we saw Greg Lee do this in the past, which I hated, him playing right back. But to be totally honest, when he came on for Tavan Gray, he looked so much better at right back than Tavan Gray. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe, I should have never been mad at the fact that Greg Lee was playing right back. He's just better than Tavan Gray at right back. Simple. So, so Richard King, people, I'm going to do exactly what I did just now for, I'm going to read out everything. So he played 45 minutes plus the stoppage time in the second half. He was dribbled past once. This is why I think people need to look at the game in totality, watch the game again. So in the moment, I was saying Richard King is the boss. He need to start now, last week, every day. I didn't say build a team around him, but I was saying that he could start now, right? I look back at the game again, and I wanted to be not critical, but I wanted to just be highly analytical. And I thought that Richard King on the ball was exquisite, very good. Good composure, didn't really panic when he got the ball in kind of compromising situations, right? Which I like, just kept his cool and figured out a solution for the most part. What I did notice though was like similar to Bernard, he didn't really make challenges. He wasn't ever close enough to affect the game defensively when USA was in possession and when we were being attacked. He didn't really do anything defensively in the second half, and he was playing defender. So that was a worrying thing for me, right? When I watched the game back. And it's not like he got on the ball so many times to where, he just didn't get on the ball as much as I thought when I was thinking about how the second half went and how well I thought he had done, right? But when I looked back at the game and I really saw everything that was going on, he didn't have a defensive action in the second half at all. He went into 2 ground duels, didn't win either. He was dribbled past once. He didn't have a clearance. He didn't have a block shot. He didn't have an interception or a tackle. So that to me was strange. When I was watching the game, when I looked at the stats before I rewatched the game, I remember noticing that he didn't have any defensive actions happen. Like he didn't do anything defensively, right? And I was like, damn, I wouldn't have thought that from watching the game just now. And I remember when I watched, I said, I'm going to make sure that, because sometimes SoFi score might miss, I guess, but they have the trackers on. I think that's what they use. So they shouldn't miss anything. But, they could make mistakes, right? But he honestly didn't have one. Didn't go into an aerial duel either. Now, again, in possession, exquisite. Only lost possession once. He was 14 or 15 for 93%. I don't know how they didn't count that pass as a key pass to Shamar Nicholson. Was he offside on that play? Because they take away the play if he was offside, but I don't think he would have been offside on that play because he ran from a little deeper. Anyway, he was 1 for 1 on his crosses, 2 of 2 on the long passes. So one of the long passes would have been to Shamar, I'm sure. So his passing, incredible. Now, my question is him being a ball playing centre back enough for the lack of defensive action that we saw from him in the second half? Okay, it wasn't like USA just stopped attacking us. They were still pretty much on the front foot for, I would say, the majority of the second half in terms of territory, at least, right? So for him to not have a defensive action is kind of mad to me. But all that being said, I think he deserves about a 6.5 for that second half. Edging towards a 7, but I just feel like he didn't do enough defensively in the game as a defender for me. You had to have done something. You're out there amongst players attacking us. Like, how did you not tackle anybody? That's incredible, right? But anyway, 6.5 for me. Yeah, Jean-Pierre, I thought he did, but he actually didn't. He actually didn't. He actually didn't. He didn't make any tackles. He didn't make any tackles, bro. Well, he tried to make 2 and he failed. All right, let me see. All right, let me make sure I follow the comments about this, because I'm sure King will have some strong opinions about this. Truth be told, we have average players that can make a good team. All right. So Rob giving you a dose of reality. Up, sir, Jason Gooner. Big up Tiga to Wagwan. Man say me is a troublemaker. So team, no Tiga to forward, no figure trouble now. To me, King can start over Holgate and Bernard. Okay, I disagree. King get a 20 LO. King 9 says Demo. Excellent. All right. I wonder if Demo stayed to hear my breakdown of everything. He was playing LCB, and when Low left, he played CB. Yeah, because he went back to the 4 after Low came out, I think. He brought on King. Yeah, because when Low came out, he brought on Karai, which would have changed the shape again. So he went a little more central. Now King made 2 really good plays, and that's what we remember. He was okay. Energy give King a 8. Going forward, Black should not be our captain. Blake should not be our captain. You can't be a citizen of the next country and captain our nation. Man say, I don't know. I guess Mark Davis is being true here. I thought he might have been joking, but I see he's like, it's type 2 seriously. So I think he's being serious. So King should be the captain because he's strong, young, calm, and composed. All right, sir. He was wilder, but he's getting more experience. They all need to learn to tackle like Low instead of always jacking. TikTok is... I hope TikTok was around for my Low breakdown for this show, I really do. Or he rewinds the video. I think that was the most fair breakdown ever. I'm going to think Mark Davis is being sarcastic. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he looks serious. I don't know. He might be serious. He might tell him to stop chat shit now. So yeah, I don't know. I think he's upset. King 6, good passing, but weak at duels. Yeah, I gave him a 0.5 extra. I never expect him to look so composed and calm, brother. Everybody overdo it. I'm glad you're not seeing these things and Lee versus Tavon. I still hold that Tavon has no business in this team. It's harder to argue it, brother, after all these performances. I mean, he's not like even on the ball when he gets it and pass the ball, it looks smooth, But he's not mobile enough, man. He look heavy. He look like he's not moving. At best, I'd start King in home games where he's comfortable. Bless up, Jairus. Why Marion Garden keep calling Tavon Gray? Why him come Clarendon or what? Yeah, man, stop chat shit, bro. All right, Mark Davis. I don't know who you're telling to stop chat shit, but hopefully it's not me because I'm the host and I have to chat. Jamaicans want all our defenders to be midfielders. People like you are a football will never grow to its true potential. You're talking with your A and not your head. If you look at the game again, you will see that Lowe was partly responsible for the goal that people were blaming the right back. Lowe was ball watching and the scorer came into Lowe's channel. Yeah, you mean the first goal? Yeah, I said that. I said he overcompensate for Pepe because he could have easily say Deshaun and make Deshaun realize say him have a runner behind him as well. Same drop, Yeah. Oh, stop chat shit. King is a solid player, confidence composed. He's our best defender. Mark Davis, why you have to? I guess it's okay to say stop chat shit. That's not so bad. Jean-Pierre put it the next way. That's harsh. King stepped up. I'm not saying he didn't step up, but he didn't win the ball. That's all. Defenders in JPL eat too much bag juice and bun and cheese. The man them weak. King was the best defender on the pitch. I disagree. He was the best defender in possession on the pitch, but not defender overall. A defender won't get much action when we were pushing for a goal and the USA was backing off. He did put in a tackle and the ref said it was a foul. Oh, so you didn't think it was a foul? I saw the replay. It was a foul. He took his foot, he hit his foot first and then hit the ball. But that's an interesting take that USA were backing off in the second half. No, obviously they weren't. They wouldn't have been as aggressive in the second half because they have a lead, and what's the point? But they still had 10 shots. They still created a big chance. They still had 3 shots on target in the second half. They still had 64% possession. So, there was still ample opportunity for defenders to defend. So, I mean, yes, TikTok, the posture of the game changed, but let's not make it seem like we were just over them for 45 minutes in their half and they were just defending. That's not what happened. What the F you talking about? What game you were watching? Well, I watched the game twice and that's what I saw. So, I mean, you don't have to get upset. You can just say you disagree. At least that's what you're saying. So, okay, I wrong you. That's what they're saying. I was Powell better than Tigre a million times. Why Jamaica can't call the player? I watched few games with him. Yeah, I don't know. I think people I don't know. Alvas is just not in the conversation anymore. When they bring up Alvas Powell and Junior Flemings, people say you're mad. Lowe was our best defender, says Mirak. I'm sure he tackled and it was a foul. Yeah. Yes, I'm saying, not registered as a tackle that he didn't win the ball. It wasn't a successful tackle. That's a good thing. He don't have anything defensive to do. No, that's what I'm saying. He could have had actions, but he decided to jockey or, he never really get involved in defensive action. He just was, holding his position well. Perlo once said, if your position is good, you might not need to make a lot of tackle. That is true. Perlo also didn't play defense. He played midfield. So I think that was more from a midfielder's perspective. I mean, if you play defense, you're going to have to tackle at some point. He made one tackle, King fouled the guy. Yeah, that was the one attempted tackle, you're right. Other times, it was just some 50-50 challenge he went into and didn't win it. Most of the time that a player is calling out another player is to cover up their own error. King get a 8, King get 7.5. King started going forward. I love that analysis of King. People need to know this. Yeah, I think it's just my honest assessment. Look, some people, 10 other analysts can watch him and think something different, but that's what I think. He blocked 2 of Scarlet crosses. Good position is also vital for a CB. Okay, nice Jean-Pierre. They say never really get the credit statistically for blocking the crosses. They only put shots blocked. That is true. They don't really put crosses blocked, at least not in SoFi scores rating. So that is true. Oh dear, Football Guru reach. Football Guru is here. Oh, so TikTok is Football Guru? They talk similar still. He didn't drop. He dropped Lati in the sweeper role and Karai in the middle. Yeah, that's what I thought. Rob. It never go back to a back 4. They played the 5 the entire time. And he was in the same role the entire time. Captain shaking my head. Interesting how Blake's worst game was against USA. Can't really judge player by what they do in garbage time when the pressure is off. I mean, I would say when the game went 3-1, USA was like, all right, we can't really afford nothing else. So I wouldn't say the whole half was garbage time. I mean, you're down 3-0, yes, but I wouldn't say it was full garbage time, TikTok. I think that's a bit too far. Blake, drape up in US flag. Tavan, also the US. If you see King play, he's composed, but can he defend? That is the question. King play one good half, now the biggest thing. Let Baller keep improving his game. Jamaica and stop hype up the Baller. That's why enough Baller Jamaica feel hype. All right, so we could have talked about King till next week, but let's move on. King was not playing any particular position, so don't baffle your head. He was a roaming defender. We say him, they play false 5. Man, invent a position. He shouldn't have to yell, Deshaun. Bernard fell asleep. Yeah, no, I'm saying though, if you are running back, you see the play. Me not say him have to, but blow, man, talk. And I maybe he did talk, I don't know. But Bernard got sucked out to the wing when the player that is more important is the one closer to the goal. And Pepe was intelligent, running to the channel that him vacate, that bring over low as well a little bit more. So yeah, and Tavan Gray just decided that he can't sprint back. So it was about 3 errors in a row on that play. 4, starting from giving away the ball at top of the box. Lock out all MLS, USL, and League One players. Really can't be fair enough. Mayor man say USA I give we 15. The whole team and coaching staff need for revamp. Jamaica style of play old and outdated. We need to stop being competitive with Concacaf. Jason, from your observation, do our players talk enough on the field? I'm not talking about ranting. I think, the problem is that I say TikTok, the communication always happening after the fact. So when a man don't get a pass, they make sure to turn around and say, yo, this way it should have go. When I think in the moment, I need to see more people talking. Like when we're actually trying to stop people, they should be pointing and saying this and that. I think we're very reactionary with our communication. If something bad happens, we want to have a huddle and talk about it. In the moment, we need to talk more, I think. But again, those are things that when you're not there on the pitch, at pitch side, you wouldn't know how much communication going on really. And I don't listen to the game with the sound, so I wouldn't be able to hear it from the sound either until I watch the replay and I put the sound on most of the time. Sometimes, because I don't really like hear the commentator them chat foolishness too much. Stop hype up some of these players outside who we clearly seen already, like Tavan. Stop hype up. Okay. Alvas played more of RCB this year. He's slower nowadays, so maybe the change makes sense. Yeah, maybe he's not really what we remember him being. I will take the beating. When Paul is healthy, he's a good player that can add something to our team. Other than Lambo, he's our only right back that can carry the ball. Our low got partially fault for doing his job and cover Bernard while our right back went a stroll. He read the pass and attempt to get back, but Blake came out. No, because him overcompensate, because him could have stayed more. Well, I guess what he was trying to do is kind of cover both of them. He just went a little too far from policy. Basically, McKennie mash him up too, because McKennie looked like he was going to play to Pepe, and just put on him head and then cross it over. So, so him kind of, like him give him the eyes that way there. And then, yeah, if you watch the play, you can see him eye them wide for look upon Pepe. And him just drag him. His whole direction was facing like he was going to play to Pepe, and him just chip it over. Blake should not be our captain. The guy grabbed up the USA flag. He should be stripped. Brother, he became a citizen, bro. That's not that deep. Rob Smith, not a fan of Alvas, but he would definitely help us now. My advice is to nip the foul language and bad behavior in the body. It will get out of hand fast. Maybe. Let's see. Man, them a cuss, brother. Man, them now want to talk about no more player. Them just want to cuss. All right, what we doing on time? Because I always run out of time with them something, man. Sure. So left back Greg Lee. So we'll go quick and fast. Greg Lee for the window. We give Greg Lee like a 6. Thought he was decent. I thought he was actually better in the second game when he played right back off the bench. So I'm gonna give Greg Lee a 6 on the window. Yeah, the people wife are sucked out. The people them what can, just ease off of the expletives. I mean, we don't really make the content for children, but at the same time, we don't want to go overboard, I know them words exist in life, so a man might say it one and few times, but come on, guys. We can reason without disrespect and them something. Just reason, give you points, and we could continue the conversation. All right, so Lee, I would say get a 6 for the window, and no disrespect to the player them, but we have a finite amount of time we can do this content for today. So we'll have to just redo the title because the McClaren interview important people and the outlook for the next window. So we have some time tonight again in the people. So we'll probably forward for a part few later. Maybe a little. Hopefully we don't wait as late as 10 p.m. for the one day. But let's just get through the squad of players real quick. So Lee for me gets a 6. I thought he was okay in the first game. I mean, for me, just it couldn't really get forward enough in that first game. Wasn't able to really stretch that left side of the field of play in that first one. I thought he, had to come off at halftime. I thought it was the better choice to take him out and let Bell play in the back four as the left back. I just wish he could have brought a little bit more to the game attacking wise, because in that first game, I don't think the USA really hit the heights especially after like the first 10 minutes or so. So I thought there were opportunities that could have been had in that first one if we could have gotten some momentum and some width down those two flanks between Dexter and Greg. But for me, Greg gets a 6. I thought he was, decent. Nothing that you could say, boy, he was just excellent or anything like that. So don't think he was bad. Don't think he was great. For me, still can be a little bit cleaner on the ball. Passing accuracy, something that I always watch out for when I'm doing analysis and recaps of his performances with his club. Is something that I think he himself would probably tell you he wouldn't mind improving. Is that passing accuracy? I know actually if you actually analyze football on a whole, left backs and right backs of the defensive players typically tend to have lower percentages because they are trying to progress the football sometimes when they get it. So they're taking a little more risks with their passes. But he was 73% in the first game, which is not terrible. He was 16 for 22. And then I think in the second game in his cameo, I thought one of his better displays. I know it was a shorter time, and TikTok will tell me it's due to the nature of the game when he's playing. But in his 30 plus minutes that he played, I thought he was very, very solid. Even got ahead, got up the pitch as well. Yeah, he was 9 for 11, so 82%. So yeah, he had 2 dribble attempts as well. So he was putting in a shift trying to get into attacking shape. So I think for me, if we're gonna stick with a back 5 system, I think Lee has use because I think he is a better player in that left wing back role than actually at left back personally. I would say. I think he struggles a bit to play out of pressure at the left back in a back 4. And I also think that just that added freedom to get a little further forward, maybe get in between lines as opposed to being on that back line is suitable to his game because then he can collect and maybe progress. When he has a running start, he's not that easy to stop. So yeah, Greg Lee, I think, is going to be more effective if we stay with the back 5. If we have a back 4, I would say, he might be one that's, we need to keep an eye on for his performances there. I say no basic communication. The interview would have taken place probably at the close of the window. It looked like it was done in some kind of film room. So it was either probably before they traveled to come back. Like a closeout interview. But I will forward later and we're going to watch it together and talk about it because I think there's some things that we have to talk about in that. But yeah, all right, let's get through this, people. Dexter Lembikisa started the first game, did not play the second. Kind of similar to what happened the last window as well. Could only manage one game in the window. We heard after the fact that he did pick up a knock and wasn't able to play. I'm assuming that it was something similar this time. Maybe just didn't recover well enough after his exertions in the first game. So really just one game to judge him off in this window. I thought it was a little bit better. You could see that maybe perhaps he's a little bit more into a groove at his new club. Still not getting the game time that we would like him to be getting. But definitely, to me, looked to be a little bit fitter than he was the last time we saw him. So Dexter Lembikisa lasted pretty much the entire game, came off right before injury time for Tavon Gray. He was kind of feeling those hamstrings and stuff, looked like he was getting cramp. So, he really put in a big shift on that right-hand side, played in two different systems and two different roles. He was a right wing back first half. Then when it went to the back four, he became more of a quote unquote fullback, but did have license to go forward in that system as well. Amari Bell was the one that kind of stayed back for the most part. So, that whole game he was trying to get up and down the wing. He didn't have much defensive action in this one. I think at times when he plays this role, he gets caught upfield a lot when we get into trouble. And it's not really his fault per se. That's just where he's playing on the pitch at the time. And I think that kind of contributes to him not really being around for those defensive actions. I will say this though, in the first game, I thought he did a really good job kind of funneling Pulisic into the middle. I don't remember a time him getting beat down that flank in that first game. Now Pulisic did go to the middle and still create danger, but he did his part. He didn't let him pass him, right? He did only have one tackle on the day. He was 2 for 4 on the ground duels. He's another player I think on the ball gives it away a bit too much for me. 67% accuracy in the first game. 41 touches, lost the ball 13 times. He did have 2 key passes though, so he was making some seeking passes, trying to create things. He was 1 of 1 on his crosses. He was 0 of 5 on the long passes, 1 of 2 on the dribbles he attempted. As I said, defensive actions really limited. So, I think just not quite to the peak Dexter that we know. I think it's probably fair to give him the same as about Greg Lee, about a 6, I would say. Just not outstanding, not terrible. No, we can get more out of this player for sure. We have seen it before. So, yeah. All right, it look like who said them can take Lembeki's spot. As far as me see, it are him alone. Mark Pulisic well and frustrated him. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. All right, next player, people. Ooh, this one, Tavon Gray. So Tavon went up against his birth country, right? And no disrespect to Tavon. Everybody know that I was actually born in the United States as well. So if I was representing Jamaica, I would be in a similar situation to Tavon. So T Gray. I still feel like in possession he's not bad. He's not a bad player in possession. He's safe. He has good first touch. Controls the ball decently, pass the ball decently. No issues there. But again, like a lot of our players, there's aspects of his game that aren't as good, right? I think for one, just his overall speed and awareness and what looks to be a bit of fitness as well, because he kind of looks heavy to me. I don't know if anybody else is seeing that, but I just feel like he has things about his game that I like. I think on the ball he's fine. I think when we have triangle set up, he's a part of forming them and playing passes with them. I don't worry about him on the ball per se. It's about everything else, the transition, just his strength in defending, his ability to get into a duel and win it. I just feel like he's a bit timid as a player, and it's just no room to be timid in a national team for me. So look, I can't really give him a rating for the first game. Didn't do much, didn't have to do much, came on very late. Second game he last, I think he played 60 minutes, and then Greg Lee came on for him. Again, I think it's just two sides to his game. Attacking wise, I have no issues with him. I think he's decent. I think he got into positions to get the ball from Bale. He didn't receive it to make a cross. I don't have any issues with him attacking, but the problem is, for me, he is not good enough defensively. So I don't know if we're going to play the back five system. He could potentially make it as a right wing back, because I still think he's okay on the football. Technically good, passing, controlling, all of that. It's just everything that comes with it, right? The quickness to get back in transition and defense, the ability to, just be somebody that people don't look at and just say, I'm just going to take you on and beat you. I just feel like, it looked like Tim Weah just was like, Tavan Gray can't stop me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody was really, you get the sense that after Lembikisa stop you a couple times, maybe you think of doing something else the next time. Tavan Gray never made them go to a plan B. He just, he just wasn't really stopping them. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't like directly dribble pass, but he was played around so many times. Play the pass, run around, and he's still turning around, and the player's already gone for the 1-2. So just quickness not there, defensive instinct not there. I just think the fitness ain't really up to par. So, I gave Dexter and Lee a 6. I don't think Gray deserved the same as them. Holgate got a 5.5. I think he deserves just about what Holgate got. So I'm going to give T Gray a 5.5 too. He didn't get a red card or anything, but yeah, he was at fault for a few things, and some of them just come down look like to some just basic effort, and it just wasn't there. All right, Joel Latibo there, people. All right, since we're going through the defenders real quick, I'm going to give you my start, bench, and drop. So Damian Lowe, for me, I'm putting him on the bench. Mason Holgate, also on the bench. Amari Bell, for me right now, he's still a starter. Deshaun Bernard, I'm going to say Deshaun Bernard for me is a starter. Richard King. Team full up. I'm going to say Richard King for right now is a bench. And the reason why, I feel like from what I've seen, since him don't want to tackle so much, we've been trying a bunch of people in midfield. He looked more composed than a lot of the people we tried in midfield. So he can be an option in the midfield. Greg Lee, for me, for now, is a bench. Dexter, for now, is a start. And Tavan Gray, I'm still going to say bench, because we don't know who we have, people. We don't know who we have. Joel Latibo there. We don't have to say about Joel. Joel had a decent window, to be honest, I mean, pretty much get what we normally get out of Joel in this window. I'm going to give you about a 6.5 to a 7 for the most part. That's pretty much where him stay. And he gave you the same this time. I'm going to say that, he's a player that I think got a lot of beating from me as well as a midfielder. But I'm actually seeing a little bit, I saw him a few times in the second leg especially, control the ball and turn and play a diagonal. And I'm thinking, what? So this whole time you could have done that, and you choose to do it after the 12th time you're playing midfield for Jamaica now? So yeah, I thought he definitely was the one that you could say could have been counted on to break up play in the midfield. He got into more duels than even him normally in that first and second leg, and was successful in a lot of them. Lives on the edge as far as, getting yellow cards, but somehow I think he must just have like a good talking relationship with the refs or something. I always see him smile and I talk to the refs, So I just feel like something about the way him deal with the referee, them always look to give him leniency, because I don't know how him never get a yellow card in these 2 games for one of the things that I saw him doing. But he didn't. He never got a yellow card. But yeah, I think the first game, he was a bit more shaky on the ball. I thought the second game he was excellent on the football. When you look at his passing stats, even had forward passes in the second game as well, which I think is a knock on him a lot from the fans. A lot of the triangles that were formed to play out in that second leg, he would have been the midfielder kind of making the link. Isaac Hayden was kind of pushed a little bit further forward than him for the most part. So he was the one dropping back and trying to collect from the defense. And a few times he was able to not only collect, but turn and collect and play through the lines, which, we don't really see that from him a lot. And defensively, you know what you're going to get from him. Workhorse in there, maybe, not the fastest, but I think he's quick enough to cover the ground. And I think, even though he was culpable for the goal that we conceded in Jamaica, I think there was enough people around him that should have, been able to stop, his initial error, which was just to lose sight of Pulisic just off his right shoulder. I thought his partner in midfield, if it potentially had been Hayden, maybe his instinct would have kicked in better than Palmer to kind of close that gap so that Pulisic can't turn. So I think 7 is a bit high for Joel. So I would say a 6.5 is fair. Like I said, I'm not doing the in-between numbers. So it would have really been a 6.7-ish, somewhere 8-ish, 9-ish, or 6 point, something like that. But since we're doing the 0.5s, I said Joel got a 6.5. And people, no disrespect, I haven't really put much attention to the comment section lately or the last couple of minutes because I'm just trying to get through the players because in not too long from now. So your analysis is suspect if you would start Bernard over Lowe. Lowe is our 3rd best player. Jockeying all game don't work in Concacaf. It is same problem our midfield have, jockeying and marking space. Fair enough. I just don't think that right now the style that I see the coach wanting to play, I place a little more emphasis on the players that I know are comfortable technically playing short triangle passes and that type of thing. I think Bernard is better at that. Latibodier, Pinnock, like that would be my 3 in terms of defenders that I would start. Because I would play a back 5 system, honestly. I think we'll work the best in that system. Lati have gotten better. He has. Rob Smith drop a super chat. Man put Low on the bench after rating him the highest defender. Yeah, he played the best in the window, but I still would bench him. Sorry. But I have a certain way I know I want my team to play. So, that's just me. But I think we should try Low as an 8. He's not working out at CB. J. Ross, I heard you say that before, because you're saying just let him have a little more freedom to go and tackle people everywhere, But I just think it does, at some point, it just becomes, why we always have to find somewhere. If we don't want him to play his natural position, then maybe his position is to be on the bench. I mean, that's possible. It's not the end of the world to have a team and have a player not start, Don't you think if better players are playing with the players that play good at your clubs, you see them perform better? I agree. You put better players around people, then yeah. No king in the middle. We need an accomplished midfielder. Jason, where does Lati play for his club? He plays right or left centre back most of the time in a back 3. Sometimes he plays in the middle of the centre backs too. He doesn't have the discipline of a 6. He likes to go forward, and sometimes he looks better there to me. Okay. Right now, Low is your player of the window according to your ratings, but you're benching him. Yes, that is true, Rob Smith. I know it's kind of crazy, but the coach want to play this style, and I don't think Low really fit the style, bro. Like him take up weird positions too when we're playing out. Like him, it's like him. I don't know. Player them have to learn how to tackle and make their opponent. Like when their opponent know they're coming. Low does with that well to Pulisic. He doesn't go anywhere Low is. When you say Pulisic, just look where Low is and don't go there. Back 3 should be Pinnock, Latibodier, and King. All right. Sports on the ball, dropping back 3. Tell you we all want defenders to be midfielder. Benching Low as second best defender. You need a ball player and a stopper. Okay. When he made those runs in the Canada game, he looked comfortable. That was not the movement of a 6. Yeah, he was going far up the pitch. You're right. All right, Joel in midfield get a 6.5 for me. Let's move on to the player who started with him in the first game, and that would have been Casey Palmer. He got beaten crazily for his performance in the game in Kingston. Did not see the park in the second game. We didn't hear anything about injury, so we think that was just coach's decision. Palmer lasted about 50 odd minutes in the first game. Tyreek McGee came on for him. He started out the game in the first half playing in the center of a two in the five. I would say it was a 5-4-1 basically to start the game. And then, after that, they converted to the 4-2-3-1 in the second half, and Casey Palmer got to play about 12 minutes in that number 10 space. And in that 12 minutes, I think he had 2 key passes, or one. I know he had one to Cephas, he had one in the first half to Nicholson. Still feel like this guy don't get to play the role that he should play. I still feel like if we play him in the second game in the number 10, we don't get sliced through out of, when they're playing out the back as badly. We saw McGee on the ball, neat touches, very good passing, very good ball retention. Where's the incision? Where's the behind the defense passes? Where is the ability to cover space and actually challenge? It just seems like he was always behind the play when we were defending as well. So, and Palmer is not excellent at that, but I tell you, he's a lot more aware than McGee. So yeah, Casey Palmer got a 6.8 actually in his actual rating, and if you let the fans tell it, he should have got a 0.8. Just one of those things where I think he did get the ball in some very, very advantageous positions at times in that first half, and he did make the wrong decision a few other times. I have to admit, if you make a proper decision there, we might get a clear goal scoring chance with the numbers that we had. So yes, he was. I'm not saying he was not. He made mistakes for sure, definitely not going around that fact. But I do think that he wasn't quite as bad as some people were saying in real time, and definitely, what the sentiments were of the people leaving the stadium that night, and he should never see the team again and all these things. I just feel like he needs to play the role that he's designed to play. He does not work in the center of the park in a double pivot. Okay, that much I know. All right, especially if it's against an opponent like the USA that really not going to give you anything. You have to kind of earn things from them. That's the big problem I see. And because he's not really naturally that type of position player, sometimes his awareness goes as far as defense is concerned in that role. But look, I think he probably should get just about the same as I would say Casey gets a 6 for me. Yeah, I don't think he deserves the same as Joel, so I'll give him a 6. I know he got a 6.8 in the ratings overall, but we wanted more out of him in the window. Clearly, now it's not up to him. He didn't get to play in the second game, but I would have to think that a part of the reason why he didn't was some of the things that the coach would have seen in the first game. I heard people saying that the coach was quite upset in a few moments with his lack of maybe effort after losing the football, or when they were in transition, not quite getting back into position fast enough. I heard that I forget which channel I was watching, but they were saying, when you're in the stadium, you could see him really upset and calling McGee after a certain particular play had happened. So maybe, he just wasn't getting what he wanted out of the player. And wasn't very happy. So Casey Palmer for me, though, I'd still give him a 6 because I don't think he was as poor as everybody wants to make out to be. But not as good as some others that had decent windows, this one. But I think he was better than Tavan Gray, so I get a little bit more than him and Holgate. That's nonsense. The coach is playing the style and he's playing well enough. No, but the coach constantly has said that we still need to handle the ball better and have more confidence on the ball. And I just feel like the positions that he takes up when we're playing out are not the best. He doesn't quite, even the time when he went to the corner flag to set up for the play out was perfect, but he never does that. He sometimes is too central and too narrow. and two up the field. You need to bring the players from the USA to you to make space in behind you. He got a high rating because he played well, but I still would bench him. Damn, sorry. When McClaren speaks about aggression, he's talking about tackling and winning the ball. Low fits McClaren style. Listen to McClaren. No, he said that we were too passive. We need to be more aggressive. But I don't think that But okay, here's the thing. Well, he needs to make up his mind. You can't have everything at once. If the ball handling is paramount to everything else, then that's why I would set a bench him. You know what I'm saying? Latibody played good over the 2 games. Because remember, Pinnock will be back in the team. So I'm gonna go with Pinnock and Bernard. Because they're the best ball handling players. And if we play a back 5, I'm gonna put Latibody in the 3 and Bernard and Pinnock. Palmer should be fighting for a spot on the bench. He doesn't. The coach is adamant at playing the man as an 8. Yeah, he wants to play him deeper. Watch Case in the stadium. He was shockingly bad. 4 out of 10. Yeah, that's the general sentiment of a lot of people that were at the game. Like, he was so horrible, Horrible decisions. Yeah. I think that's what gets him out the most with the fan base. Like, it was in those moments where we're like, all right, this looks promising. And then it just wasn't promising anymore, All right, let's see. So let's go back to the players. So Palmer for me gets a 6. Who else? Isaac Hayden now. So Hayden, he came in the first game. And also played 90 minutes in the second game. Had a really good game. Some people were saying, they didn't see that much of him when he came on in the first game. I thought immediately we saw an impact from him in the first game. I remember the first thing he did, he just closed down somebody, tackled him, took the ball from him, and just recycled the play. I was like, damn, I haven't seen that in a while in this midfield. Just somebody close down somebody, take the ball off of them, and recycle the play. Like, it was perfect. The first game, the cameo, I thought gave me every reason to think, okay, start him. I don't care how much fit he is. If he can last 60 minutes, great. But he needs to be on the park from the start. I think the one thing that as his match fitness increases, goes back to club. Hopefully in January we can see him secure a move, so he can get more game time. Because if this is the Isaac Hayden that we're going to get with no game time, I can only imagine when he moves to a club that wants to see him playing, and he gets some games, he's going to be even better. So I would say he was probably, for me, one of the biggest positives of the window. A player to come in and had so much question marks surrounding him to perform the way he did. I'd have to say, yeah, that was a really, really good sign. So Isaac Hayden for me got a 7 for the window. I think that might even be a little bit lower than what he could have gotten. But I'm gonna say a 7 because I did see, there were things. I want to leave space for improvement because, perhaps his ability to diagnose danger quicker. I think in defensive transition he struggled as well, especially when we were kind of trying to get something out of the game in the second leg and he was up the park. He just doesn't really have, you're not going to see him a dead sprint. Yeah, it's a constant fast running motion, but I didn't see that. And I think he probably does, he kind of does play a very measured style of play, and as a lot of people are alluding to in the comment section with the aggression, maybe that's a part of his game that he needs to develop a bit more in Concacaf. Like, just, sometimes you just have to go and just go for that tackle, get that ball. But I think he'll learn that, and I think he has that in his game, because I saw when he chopped down Tillman in that first game. I mean, that was a very Concacaf-like challenge there. So, yeah. Isaac Hayden for me, though, definitely one of the positives for sure from this window. We need to have a pool of players because his injury history, his history as a player. He's not consistently one that's playing football for any long period of time. So, we can't rest on our laurels because we found Hayden. We need to make sure that we keep looking because he's going to need cover as well. Won't be able to play 90 minutes all the time, more than likely. So we need to continue looking for that area. I do think that's where we need the most help. So Isaac, I'll be okay if you give him an 8, 8.5, even a 9. But me personally, I'm going to say a 7 for the window. Very good window. 7. Very strong 7, though. Almost a 7.5, to be honest. So, yeah, 7 in the window for Isaac Hayden, one of the positives. Next player, Karai Anderson. So, Karai Anderson came on in the second leg. Karai is a player that I think Jamaica has struggled to get him into the right position as well. I do think he's a much more attacking player than what we tend to see him as. And I think that's one of the issues with our, I wouldn't say our recruitment, but we basically have these players that I think we put in situations where they're probably not going to play that well. And then it kind of just leaves itself open to say, boy, are these players even good enough to be here? And I think in certain areas and roles they might be, but maybe not the way we are trying to use them, right? And I think Karai would be one that falls into that category for me personally. I also don't think that Karai, especially this season, has been like the most consistent at Charlton in terms of just game time and actual performances and stuff. I think he actually might have been playing a bit better last season. But it just goes to show we don't really have that many options in this area of the park. For me, I guess it would be tough to give him any more than a 6. Didn't really affect the game so much when he came on. That he could have had better ball retention. Did give away the ball a couple times, but not that many. He played a few passes that were nice and safe, and he kept possession, recycled possession, but he did have a few opportunities as well where if he could have just had a cleaner touch on the ball, maybe we had an opportunity to go for an attack. I remember one in particular. The player had miscontrolled the ball from the USA and could have just went with the football, ended up kind of tackling the player's ankle first before getting the ball, and those all kind of things. So yeah, Karai Anderson for me, I'd say he probably gets he's average, just a 6 probably. Didn't really get enough time to affect the game for me in his cameo. Just he was okay. I mean, he wasn't terrible. He wasn't that good. He only had one bad misplaced pass. He did lose the ball a couple of times based on his touch being a little loose and stuff. Yeah, just I would say a 6. I mean, if you give him a lower than that, I wouldn't really cuss either. But I'm gonna say a 6. I don't think the sample size was big enough to, kill him so bad or give him any high rating or mark. Yeah, he did have a couple of situations where you would have wanted him to do better. But I mean, he didn't really get that much time. So I don't think. They say Hayden and Mr. Clean. That's a good nickname for you. Yeah, I remember that he did. If you watch the games, you'll see that Magee doesn't make as many mistakes as Casey. Yeah, but the problem is, all right, we're going to talk about Magee now because he's the next player on the list here. There's Ravel as well, but we'll talk about him after. So Tyreek Magee, he came on in the first game, and the fan base was saying he changed the game. And I just never, when I watched the game 3 times, actually, the first leg, because there were so many things that people were saying that I was disagreeing with. I was like, am I crazy? Let me watch this game. I only watched the second one twice, but the first game I watched it 3 times. And I'm still trying to see this overall changing of the game that Tyreek Magee did in the first game. I just don't see it. I think the game was already changed from halftime when Hayden and Cephas came on. That's what changed the second half, not Magee coming on. Magee just came on and continued what Jamaica had already started to change. He was, again, technically, ball retention, great. First touch, clean. But for me, he needs too much space and time to really affect the game. That's why when we saw him playing Nicaragua against a team where you have more reaction time, we saw 2-3 defense splitting passes. When he played against Honduras, reaction time dwindled. Nothing of the sort. When he played the USA in 2 legs, Reaction time dwindle down, nothing of the sort. Against the US, you're going to have to actually hold on upon your leather turn and still play the incisive pass. When he has to do all of that, what ends up happening? He's making sure to keep the ball. So it's a toe poke back to the defense or a pass to switch the play. Still a good pass because he's switching the field and doing something good with the football, but the incision goes away. The driving himself with the football goes away. And is Tyreek Magee allergic to looking up to shoot? He gets the ball on top of the box all the time. He never thinks to look and take a shot, ever. So, ball retention wise, I think Magee can make a squad, You know why? Let's say we're beating a team in like the 85th minute and you want to bring on a central player to just keep the football, get foul, whatever the case is. He can do that because he's probably not going to lose the ball. I'll give him that. He holds on to the ball very well. You know what I'm saying? But what we are saying he's bringing to the team, I don't see. This load of creativity and all of a sudden we are playing through pass and I don't see that. But look, first game, I thought he was decent. I don't think it was as great as people were saying it was. It was decent though. It was a good to show the coach, okay, against this level of opposition, I can still retain the football. I think in the phase that he came on, perhaps the US was a bit wary of us because Cephas had broken out a few times in that second half already, and I think they had kind of taken their foot off the pedal a bit, trying to just make sure they keep this 1-0 lead at this point. So he came in at a good time for him to express himself. I still wanted a bit more incision, attempt a through pass, make a key pass, but that wasn't there. But retention-wise, I have to give it to him. He kept the ball well. Now, second game, the coach goes with him from the start. Many fans would probably be pleased about that. And, he lasted for the first half. I thought he was supremely ineffective in the second game. Still decent retention on the ball. Did play one long pass that was successful, and a dribble that was successful. He actually won 3 out of 4 of his duels as well in that first half. He had 6 possession loss out of 23, so good retention as normal. And he did make a tackle as well, and he was fouled. So, look, my thing is, we barely had the football in that game. And, yeah, I just feel like Tyreek Magee was always late in the press. Always. So Boz are always pulling him different ways, telling him, why you're not here, why you're not there. And then when we drop back now, he just seems to just shift side to side, just never really engaging a part of the passivity or the passive nature that Jamaica had, or that Coach McClaren said we had. So, yeah, for Magee, I would say he probably gets a 6.5. He probably deserves more than Karai and Casey. But I just feel like, ball retention wise, great. Just need more from him incision wise. Make a key pass. That's what you need the team to do. So, play a ball into space and make somebody run onto it. Let's see that. We saw it against Nicaragua. We haven't seen it against Honduras or the US. That's literally what we want out of him in the team. So that's what we need to bring. All right, so Ravel won't get a rating because he never played. But I do want to talk about him coming in for the second game and not actually getting a game. So it was just coach's decision, people. All these conspiracies going around, please stop. He had a jersey. His jersey number was number 9. We saw it. Hung up in the locker room, and the pictures, we saw his shorts had the number 9 on it. He was on the bench. So, it was no big story. About it. Yeah, so these players have 2 high ratings, I'm realizing, We'll get a 5. Casey get a 5.5. Magee get a 6. Karai get a 5.5. Isaac deserve him 7. Joel get him 6.5. Lowe get him 7. Bell get him 6.5. Bernard get a 6. King get 6.5. That's a little high. I'm going to give King a 6. Lee get a 6. Dexter 6. T Gray, you get a 5.5. Holgate deserve the lowest, yeah. Casey get a 6. Correct, get 5.5, yep. All right. Man say local bias. They say me have a local bias. Yeah, he can shoot. I don't get it. He weak. He's to push off the ball against his opponents who doesn't really possess tight. He has a wicked left foot. John Russell, Isaac Hayden, and Revel, 3 in the middle. That would be a nice midfield. Good balance. The man not even have an assist for Jamaica. He needs a ball just to fulfill his role. Look at the games. There are many instances when they could have passed to him, but opted for a long ball. Tyreek's role is like Messi's. Give him the ball. Yeah, I just don't know if Tyreek gonna influence the game enough getting the ball. It's just gonna be 10 more ball retention passes when he receive it. Because when he get the ball, he don't look to be incisive. None at all. He just want to keep the football. BDR ahead of JR. BDR? Who is BDR? Oh, okay. Let me see it. Instead of John Russell. Okay, let me figure it out. Yeah. Let me figure it out. McGee is still McGee. Decent on the ball, was still lacking in other areas. McGee's a 5. He hasn't improved. McGee hides and doesn't show for the ball. It's time to McGee church got the fact that he's not that guy. He can do a job against weaker teams, but won't help against teams who will not give him space. TikTok McGee like Messi, really? I mean, yeah, it's just not like literally, I don't think. Or I'm pretty sure TikTok goes far sometimes, but I don't think he's trying to say that he's actually Messi. McGee hasn't improved for me. He claims in the US that he ran a lot more, but I don't see that in his game. Yeah, he said he's been working on that part, but yeah, you can't short and weak in football. Like Messi, wow, yeah. I don't. It's tough when you say Messi. You know, he's left-footed and short. That's about where the comparison stop. You can't short and weak in football. I think King deserve a higher number. Sample size, man. You can't give the man a 10 because he played for 45 minutes. All right, yeah. So to be honest, you're right. Him deserve at least a 6.5. King. 6 kind of low for the game. I just don't think he did a lot defensively, bro. He just played good passes. And he's a defender. I don't think that was the guy who was saying people stop it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not literally like he's Messi, but yeah. Just it's kind of triggering when you hear that. But Ravel Morrison was coach's decision, people. Don't listen to foolishness from people. All right, Bailey, quick and fast. Come here, run out of time for real. Bailey, I would say Bailey get a what? Yo, me don't want to rush it in, people. I left the midfield. Yo, I left this. So guess what? We're gonna have the same thumbnail. We're gonna call it part few because I want to finish this. We do the keeper them, the defense, and the midfielder them. We have the wingers and the forwards to do now, right? So we can start right with Bailey, Duke, Rob Smith, the whole on the far out, and the whole of vote them. Listen, I'm gonna make the thumbnail this afternoon. See? You're gonna see it. It's gonna have the same thumbnail. It's just gonna say part few. Right? Because we need to finish this. We want to finish this and we still need for the start bench drop for everybody. And then we're going to listen to the McClaren interview and talk about the March window and what's upcoming for the Jamaica team. All right? So listen, people, it's 2 hours and a half. It's a long show. If I continue this, it's going to stretch to about 4 hours. I don't have that time right now. I have some things I have to sort out. So let me sort it out. I will forward block in the PM hours. So it won't be in the afternoon. It'll be in the PM because I have to pick up the kids them from school this afternoon and them things. So yeah, man. This is to be continued, people. We're halfway through. We got through the defenders, midfielders for the most part. Now we're going to the attackers, basically the wingers and the forwards. So yeah. Can't wait. The man them anxious to give Bailey him vote, you know. See some on a drop on a Bailey vote 5, 6, 5.5. Bailey gets a new boots. Tyreek's role on our team is similar to Messi's and all his teams. Give him the ball and he's going to make a pass and a move or look to spring forward. Yeah, that's the part that I don't see him doing for Jamaica as much, like the springer forward part of it, you know. Him not really play them past it. It's a lot of retention passes, which yeah, you need to retain the ball, but if he's gonna be the Messi in the team, he needs to take a little more risk with the passes. Bailey 4, Bailey can start advertising slippers. So we can't wait. So see, can't wait. Yeah, so listen, people. Part few later. Don't forget, I will be back, you know. I will be back. I know I promised that whole heap of time, but today I will be back. See? For this one, like the video, share the video. We have pretty much done half the team. So if there's any people in the comment section you disagree with, let me know. We've done the keepers, the defense, and the midfielders, their ratings and stuff. Once we finish with the rest of the team, we'll do the start, bench, and drop for all the players that got called up, and then we'll move into what the future is looking like. Just give my breakdown of the coach as well over the window, because I know people have been waiting for that. And then we're going to listen to the interview that he did with Simon and try to break that down and talk about the things that he said. All right, people. So respect for the support in the day. Yeah, man, the day stream them don't always happen, but when they do, they always tend to be very, very, you know, I don't know what to call it. Lively. Yeah, we'll call it lively. Zine. So big up. Some little worried it start, but we'll kind of put them out early. So respect for people being as respectful as you can be in the moment of anger. Thank you so much. As you see, we're not really wrench up the place and we're not really block people. So we just try to be adults, or you know, young adults if we're young. And if the kids them are here, you know, we try to, you know, speak without using, you know, too much colorful language, right? So big up to everybody that tuned out and turned out and tuned in, and thanks for all the support. Let's check the likes. I did just set up a measly target of 50, so let me make sure. All right, we're going 60, so thank you very much, people, for the likes. I know that some might not have known I was live or couldn't quite watch the entirety of the video in real time because they're a bit busy. If you want to watch this on the replay, I suggest you do. There was a lot of good conversation, a lot of good perspective given as well between myself and in the chat as well. And I think that, you know, people had a nice lively discussion about the team and the players and how they were performing in the window. We will continue this discussion later. As I said, look out for the thumbnail. I won't be able to make it right this second because I do have to run. When I get back home, I will make the night thumbnail so you can see that we are forwarding with the rest of this, and we'll be back. I know the streets will have a little more traffic later, but that's okay. When you can forward black and come on here where we're going to do measured analysis. We might not agree with what Jason Gooner comes up with, but I will always explain myself at the very least. So even if you don't agree with me, you'll at least hear where I'm coming from. That's all that I can really do. So people, big up and thanks again for the support. Thanks for the likes. And I will forward black later. All right. Big up on yourself and thanks again. Big up, big up, big up.